Commence primary ignition.
Hey, this is Obi Tahi. I play Dr. Pershing, and you are watching the Virtual Cantina Network.
It's Rebels Takeover!
We're taking over.
With our guns out.
It's 1,000 degrees here in New York, and I'm sunburnt as hell. So,
Yeah.
but I'm back. This is
Yeah.
actually the first family vacation shirt I'm wearing for the trip because I got my shirts later and didn't really realize it. So I don't think there'll be one photo of me in VCN gear outside of like Rebels Revisited shirts and stuff from the trip. So, but it was great.
Yay.
It was so much fun. And we are going to talk a little bit about it tonight. Hello, everyone who's joining us. And by everyone, I'm sure this will be a small watch along because everyone's on vacation still. It's still going. This is day 4, Thursday.
The party rages on.
Mm-hmm.
And you
heads
stepped back
north.
from said party. So how was it? Like, the photos looked amazing.
It was such a blast. I'm going to put in a quick comment to the chat. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night watch along.
Yeah. No, you have not gone forward in time because everyone else is on vacation. It is not Monday night. We know this.
Yeah.
We're here. We're here taking over and filling in for Dave, Jeff, and Spencer, who are heading north to.
They should be in San Francisco by now.
Yeah.
9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. I believe they're there, have been there for a while.
Nice.
I've lost track of the itinerary. It's all such a blur. But it was a lovely time.
Says,
hey,
hello
Jeff.
From an Uber in San Francisco. Hey, we're here.
Jeff was my Uber at one point. He picked me up from the Academy Award or the Museum of Motion Pictures that the Academy sponsors, right? It's relatively new. So Jeff came to get me, and I had to actually talk to my new hire. So for anyone who's keeping up with like the personal life of Mark von Ohlen, I picked like I did a weird trip. I was in San Diego Comic-Con for all of Saturday. I flew in Saturday morning. Spencer and I were in the same flight. I got out there and I sort of had a full day in San Diego at Comic-Con, went to the meetup, and then did sort of a half day Sunday and went up to LA. Monday was when the family vacation then started. But Sunday night we had Deadpool Wolverine. Monday morning was the Academy of Arts and Sciences Museum. And after that, Jeff actually drove me to Scum and Villainy because I was helping with setup and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I also had a new employee start on that Monday. And so I was out of the office and had to set up all sorts of stuff for her to do. But I did want to talk to her. And so from Jeff's car, I'm on the phone with my new hire toward the end of her day one, asking how it went, which I'm sure I knew it would have been fine. And I have a good team. So it's just that kind of thing where like schedules, you know?
Oh, totally. It's no room for anything. Just everything just seems to be thrown at you all at once.
All at once. But the vacation was a blast.
Yay.
We're gonna do a full. So for everyone watching, both of you, we are gonna do a full family vacation recap on Rebels Revisited on Monday. But we do have stuff to talk about on this show, including showing you some merch that I got. These are my Ewok ears.
That's
from
really...
Here, I'm gonna take these off real quick.
Okay. I am buffering so bad. My Wi-Fi is like the worst right now.
There we go. Okay. All right. How's that?
Oh my god, that's hella cute.
Yeah, very cute. Kevin and Tracy Thompson had these at their table. They have them in black and brown and white. Very cute. We actually got to physically induct Kevin into the Hall of Fame with his plaque and his kyber crystal. he was there at Biggs on Tuesday, and I did my interview with them, and then I bought a hat, and I, of course, should have had it at the start of the interview. So then I was wearing it for the rest of the night. But I did get to talk to tons of people. But that was really nice seeing Kevin and Tracy. They're the best. I do have to take this off, though, because it's 1,000 degrees.
Yeah. But at least you'll have it for Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh, sweating. So
at least you'll have it for Rhode Island Comic Con.
yeah, Rhode Island, it'll be perfect. Maybe I'll wear that with my Imperial officer uniform to confuse people. I will say at San Diego, the Comic-Con cosplay was on point. Saw a lot of Deadpool Wolverines walking around. Saw a lot of Star Wars. Jeff, of course, and his good friend Lamont. They both did their mashup of Boba Fett, like the bounty hunter kind of thing that they did last year, which was very cool. The meetup was spectacular. We had like 40 people or something.
Ooh, the pictures looked amazing.
You guys saw the big picture. We didn't build in an overlay to throw in photos, but I feel like of all the shows, this is the one to like show a picture. Let's see if I can find one on my phone real quick.
You're a little bit glitchy, Mark. Just a little.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Let me get off the Wi-Fi on my other my other devices.
It's so exciting. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you guys had a great time. And they're still having a great time. Yeah.
Here we go. See if this translates.
Oh, wow. So many people. Look at those lovely, lovely people.
Everyone's wearing their racers and their gear. I had on my Pride shirt.
I definitely see a lot of racers, a lot of VCN merch wear. It's great.
So Sunday, before the family vacation started, we all did the screening of Deadpool Wolverine at the Chinese, and it was amazing. You've seen Deadpool Wolverine?
I did. Alan and I went on Saturday night, and we could not stop laughing.
Yeah, it was hysterical. Imagine being in a theater with like 30 of your best friends watching it together.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a blast.
Oh, that's so cool. My favorite was "Till You're 90."
We kept saying that. Yep. We were joking that we were going to be on this because I said we're turning over from Rebels to Clone Wars, and I was like, "Oh, we've got years of content there," and they're like, "Yeah, you'll be doing that show till you're 90."
Till you're 90.
Till you're 90. That and Baby Knife.
Baby Knife.
People kept fake stabbing each other. It was really fun because.
Were there any fights in minivans? Just saying.
Oh my God, the stunt work in that movie, like the Honda Odyssey F-bombs was another thing that people were just walking around saying. Also, there's like heinous stuff said in that movie that is hysterical. It is so vulgar. Yeah. It's perfectly my sense of humor because I don't think people realize this, but it takes every ounce of my self-control to not curse my ass off on this channel. We're a very family-friendly channel, and every now and then I will slip. But I am very vulgar in normal conversation. And so that is a challenge for me. But Deadpool Wolverine was my jam. And when the a prayer fight happens, I was like, this is maybe the gayest thing I've seen in years in a big blockbuster movie. It was awesome.
But it's so funny. And shout out to like so many cameos. I don't know. It's Thursday night. It's been almost a week. So we're kind of.
Mm-hmm. I think we're good. We're not a Marvel channel.
Okay.
This is your fair warning. Spoilers. We're going to talk spoilers for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Also, no one's watching right now.
Yeah, we got 5 people.
Yeah, if you catch us on pre-record, this is your fault. Yeah, who is your favorite cameo? Because I have a far and away favorite.
Oh yeah, Chris Evans for sure. I love Chris Evans so effing much, and to have when that shawl came off and he was like flame on, I just lost my fucking shit. I'm sorry, it's just and the whole like potty mouth thing that he did at the end, the whole like language joke. Oh my God, it was so great. And Blake Lively as Lady Pool, she was good. Amazing.
I
But
love
the
her.
one that I was not expecting was Kid Pool. That was
Yeah,
Blake and
that's his daughter.
Ryan's daughter Inez.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome as well.
Yeah, the whole family's in there, which is awesome. I was not expecting Henry Cavill, though I had heard
No, oh
rumors.
my god, that was hysterical.
Someone pointed out that because Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine in every movie, he's never been recast in the movies, and
Yeah.
he plays all of his own variants in this movie, that the only other live action Wolverine, clarifying live action, there's been plenty of voice actors, is
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's
so true.
wild. By the way, he
Isn't
looked
it?
really good. And I'm not a huge, like, there are people who are obsessed with Henry Cavill. I think he's
Yeah.
fine. Um,
Yeah. Same. He's just okay.
yeah, but he
He's
looked
nice.
really good as Wolverine. I was like, this could work. I do kind of wish though they would go with like a Daniel Radcliffe kind of build and make him like short and angry and mean.
I
Like,
love the short version of him
yeah,
that just like got up from the bar stool.
yeah,
Oh, comic accurate, and just
yeah.
lost it.
Way to stick that landing, little guy. Um, that's the kind of stuff we're seeing it a second time was helpful because I saw it Thursday night. And
Yeah.
then of course again on Sunday at the Chinese, which by the way, the Chinese was I had a lot of emotional moments on this trip, and it
Yeah.
was mostly
Oh,
about being with people, but also sometimes the places. And I've been to San Diego Comic Con enough time where I don't feel emotional about being at the con. It's really about seeing people. But the physical space of the Chinese was overwhelming.
oh.
It is a landmark for a variety of reasons. Aside from the fact that there's a very specific Star Wars carve out in the stones, right? You've got Harrison Ford's signature and R2D2. There's a beautiful plaque for Carrie. There's actually a couple of Star Wars costumes in the main lobby, but it's
Wow.
also like cinema history, and it's preserved as best it can be, and it felt really special. And I think
Wow.
we're now so quick to absorb and discard. Like everything is just so disposable in our culture. Like nothing has any reverence anymore. So it felt like I was really attending something where um, this is something not everyone gets to do. And it feels weird calling
True.
like going to a movie theater a bucket list item, but like I've wanted to go
No.
there for like 20 years.
Same. Yeah, it's iconic, and
Yeah.
so much cinema history has been both made there and viewed there.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yep.
especially in Star Wars, like that was the place to go when Star Wars was first
Yeah.
coming out. So
They supported the franchise before anyone did, you
exactly.
know?
So it's crucial to the history of Star Wars,
Yep.
and it's so
So
cool that they have that to honor everybody who's been a part of it.
I'm glad that they continue supporting the geeky stuff because they could have anything. It's one screen. They could choose anything right now, but they said Deadpool Wolverine was the thing we were going to play,
Oh,
an
they know.
R-rated Marvel movie. Yeah.
Over
So that
500 million worldwide right now, and it's only been out
unreal.
less than a week.
I mean, you heard me on. If anyone was tuning into Rebels Revisited throughout the year, you've heard me say out loud. There's documented evidence of this that it will be the highest grossing
Facts.
movie of the year, and I think it can cross 1 billion domestic,
Totally.
like which is
Totally.
Endgame level. So
The rewatches are already insane. There's so many
yeah.
people. Like I was looking through Fandango, and all the seats in my local theater are still
Hmm.
all snapped up. And here it is a week later, and there's a feast going on in the next city over, like
Yeah.
the massive Portuguese feast that they have every year.
Hmm.
So people are just saying, I'll skip the feast and I'll go see Deadpool and Wolverine," and it's amazing.
And Twisters 2 just came out, and by the way, did very well and is still
Katie
doing well.
O'Brien, our girl
Katie,
Katie.
we're gonna get to Katie,
Yeah.
because she was one of our guests and she was lovely as always.
Yes.
She's having quite the moment. Um,
Totally.
yeah, so Deadpool Wolverine, I would say, is dominating the pop culture right now, and within our own fandom, people were loving it. I got to hang out with one of my friends, Nick, who actually cosplays as Deadpool, and he has a
Oh,
friend who does
awesome.
Wolverine. And so on Sunday, they were causing havoc outside, and got some great photos with them.
Yeah.
It was just a lovely con because everyone just felt like in good spirits. And then closing it out Sunday night at the Chinese was just like the perfect sort of end to San Diego and the start of the vacation. So then
Right.
Monday morning we get to the Academy Award Museum, and it's many levels. There's like 5 or 6 levels, right? And a lot of um, special exhibits, including a John Waters exhibit.
Oh,
So that
awesome.
was so cool because I love John Waters. They
Yeah,
call him
same.
was it the Pope of Sleaze or something.
Yeah.
So his whole thing, it had video, photographs, behind the scenes stuff, costumes from all the movies, a whole thing on Divine, the drag queen who made all these roles famous.
Yeah.
Um,
Love
the weird mainstream success he sort of accidentally had with things like Serial Mom and Hairspray.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's from going from Pink Flamingos, and yeah, it was a great exhibit. And
And
then there's a
Hairspray is
sci-fi
still
section.
iconic.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's still going. Nina West is in the traveling tour. Um, so then there's a sci-fi section that has these awesome costumes, including like Tony Stark's Infinity Glove from Endgame, some Star Wars props from the new trilogy, not from the new trilogy. Forget what else was there. There's a bunch. It's not a huge exhibit. The
Right.
sci-fi stuff. If you're gonna go just for Star Wars, you're wasting your time. You have to like sort of love movies. But we all
Yeah.
did the experience where you get to win an Academy Award. So I have like a video of me winning, and I'm like, and I'm like screaming. I was like, I deserve it. Like I went like lost my mind. It
Yes.
was
I
really
love
fun. So
it.
that's like a silly little thing to do while you're there.
Yeah.
But the place is really cool, and it's got like a history of cinema, basically. Um, Highly recommend. They have Bruce from Jaws, the actual shark,
That's
hanging
amazing. Oh my god,
over
my
the
friend would love
stairwell.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
So,
the biggest Jaws fan I know, so she
well,
would
the
freak
50th
out.
is next year, and they're going to do all sorts of fun stuff. So
Oh my
that was the
gosh.
way we kicked off the vacation. So we all met each other outside, went in together as a big group, and then after that, before you know it, it's time for the first like signing event of everything at Scum and Villainy. And so I had never been to Scum before.
Me either,
I've seen the
yeah.
photos, like I know what their deal is. It looks like the cantina. It's small, and we brought in 80 people. There are 80 people on the family vacation. And so we
Yeah.
brought in all of those people plus the signers, and there were like 20 people signing that night. And then other people who were coming in. So it was a packed house.
Wow.
Everyone did really well.
That's
I went
phenomenal.
around. We hired a videographer actually for Monday night, and so I was like the Billy Eichner man on the street, like going around meeting everyone. I got to talk to everyone on the list. Talked to Gerald Prescott about being a night sister and joining the Star Wars family and the VCN family
Yay.
by extension. I
She's
had
all
a
about
real
those nerd groups. I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we talked Walking Dead for a little bit, so you'll see
Oh,
me like with a real mic, like talking to people back and forth, Ryan Seacrest style. Um, Misty was there. We inducted her into the Hall of Fame, which was very cool. I think John did that induction. Um, Christopher Sean and Nelson Lee, the Gionos, we sat them together. They had never met
yeah.
before, and so
Wow.
I got to interview them together,
That's
which was really
amazing.
cute.
To
Uh,
chopper fight him.
so I have numerous pictures of Nelson with Chopper, including some where he's like fighting. Um, I actually do a little interview with Chopper and R2, so that was cute. The droid guys were really nice
Yeah.
and played along with my silly nonsense. I also took a picture with Speedy and
Oh,
spoke
yay.
to Maria, who is Speedy's handler,
Maria
about
Sandoval, she's amazing.
yeah. Uh, Maria is a multiple Emmy nominee for hair design, and so we talked a little bit about
So good.
Shauna and what a good cause Speedy was. Um, and from there it was like everyone just enjoying themselves, drinking the drinks, hanging out in the cantina, taking way too many pictures, meeting celebrities, getting
Yes.
autographs, all that kind of good stuff. Um,
Wow.
and then Tuesday, during the day, in the morning I went with Joanna. It was Joanna's birthday, and so
Happy birthday,
uh,
Joanna.
happy birthday, Joanna. We did a
Woo.
character breakfast at the Great Californian Hotel,
I
and so
love it. Yes.
that was really fun. Brianna was with or Brea was with us, um, and we met Mickey, Minnie, Chip and Dale, I think Daisy and Pluto. I lose track now, but either way, we took like 1,000 photos. We were like
Awesome.
5-year-olds. Ate our
As you
faces off at
should
the
be.
buffet. Yeah,
Yeah. Did you get
and
any
then
Mickey waffles or Stitch
I
waffles?
did. I had a Mickey
Yeah.
waffle.
So good.
Um,
It's crucial.
yeah, we also just if you want an omelet, they have avocado for the omelets, and I was like, I'll just take a scoop of the avocado and I put it on some toast, like on a biscuit, and then I put some bacon and a little bit of cheese, and I had like a without the egg, but like a bacon cheese guac situation. I was like, this is
Yeah.
this is the sandwich. Uh, but
Killer.
but it was really fun. The character breakfasts are very cute, and you get a nice amount of time, and you eat whatever you like, and you get a ton of great photos. Being with someone who has a birthday is overwhelming in a good way.
Did you have the button
Um,
on?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I
Several
love it.
people had birthdays in the group too, throughout our
Oh,
several days there, so a lot
happy
of
birthday to
attention.
everybody.
Yeah, it was definitely a celebration.
Squads.
Um, I then went to, downtown Disney. Other people went to the park because the actual park day was Wednesday, but some
Mhm.
people got tickets for Tuesday. Some people were also even doing Thursday, but the official park day as part of the vacation was Wednesday.
Right.
Um, for Tuesday, we had in the evening, and not even evening, it started at 4 o'clock. The event at Biggs, which, if anyone remembers, that's you were at Anaheim
I
22.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember Biggs. That place
I
was a
do.
blast.
It was so fun. Oh my god, so many people were there. We had a rock star in the house. Richard Patrick from Filter showed up because it's in his neck of the woods.
Mhm.
So he came by. He's friends with. He grew up with a friend of ours, and uh, he was there to hang out. And I'm like, oh, killer. So it was just really awesome to just see everybody, meet everybody, and
Mhm.
Biggs is a good place to host a party.
Yes, and to mix and mingle.
Yeah.
Biggs is pretty big, way bigger than Scum.
Yeah.
And so Biggs is basically in Anaheim. It's in Fullerton, but we'll call it Anaheim. And
Anaheim
relatively,
adjacent.
yeah, and close enough to Disneyland, whereas Scum is really more in LA.
Mhm.
So some people actually went to like the Funko store during the day and things like that as well. Um, the event at Biggs had fewer autograph signers, but we also did my man on the street autographing or interviewing rather of all the autograph signers. And we met everyone, including all the Bobas, which was really fun because we had Dickie Beer and John Morton and Mark Anthony Austin, who doesn't
Absolutely,
really
yeah.
do the circuit all that frequently. And then one of our really fun ones, the timing couldn't have been better. Daniel Stevens, who is a stunt guy, he was in Revenge of the Sith. He's an Imperial officer in Mando. He's done a bunch of other stunts. He is Hugh Jackman's stunt man, like his
No
stunt double.
way. Oh, that's
So
wild.
the weekend was perfect. We were talking about
Yeah.
Deadpool Wolverine. Um, so we had a lovely interview. And then, and of course, Kevin and Tracy were there, like I was saying. The Skywalkers were there actually at both events. Oh, we had Sabak. Sabak was being played the whole time, which was
Thank you,
awesome.
Hyperspace
Yep.
Props.
They as the sponsors, Mike, who's the owner, was there teaching everyone how to play. He brought all of his
Right.
own props. He hosted a giant game, and there are all these different decks and all these different types of currency. It was really cool.
That's
So
awesome.
that was a blast, and people
Yeah.
were really getting into it. Like, I mean, at one point, like everyone was like, "Whoa!" and screaming, and everyone like turned around, like, "What happened? What happened?" And it was just people playing sabacc, like they're at basically playing poker for real money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mike and Emily at Hyperspace Props for
yeah.
making it such a fun event. So
They
cool.
were really terrific.
Cool.
And yeah, so we had a great time chatting with everyone. And the biggest thing is everyone got to mingle, right? So both
Oh,
on
yeah.
Monday night and Tuesday night, you have a lot of time to just talk to each other, walking around the museum together, walking around the park together. And then Wednesday was Disney Day. So we were in Disneyland, and we had the um, the swag meetup, which I'm going to show you swag as we get into the panel.
Yeah.
Um, we had the Falcon photo, and then we had the
Which was
lightsaber stuff in the evening.
epic. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
we got a lot of stares. People being like, "How do these 100 people know each other?" And I was like, "Oh, we're on vacation with our 100 closest friends, you guys."
Yeah.
Um,
This is the
and
family, yo.
yeah, it was really fun. And most people were wearing like this kind of shirt. This is actually the staff shirt. And then there's a black T-shirt, which you didn't want to wear a black T-shirt in Orlando because, oh man, was it
Yeah.
hot?
But
I got
California's a dry
really
heat.
sunburned. I'm sorry, did I say Florida? Yeah,
Yeah.
California.
It's
Look at
okay.
my
Yeah.
nose. Can you see?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
gonna I'm gonna turn
Oh,
off the.
you're so crispy.
Yeah, it's not great. Um,
Sorry.
there we go. I only put on one round of sunscreen and didn't really reapply on Wednesday. And I think it all built up over the several days that I was just out. Like I got more sun in the past 5 days than I have probably in the last year and a half.
And
So
you were at the beach for a while too.
yeah,
So
when I was in Mexico, I was like a vampire. Like I was fully covered except for like a few photos when we needed to be like in our bathing suits to pose as a group, and then I was like right back under the underhang. I'm one of those where sunglasses, shirt, the arms are usually out, but they are covered in
sunscreen.
sunscreen and whatever
Yeah.
else. And then an umbrella. I will sit in the underhang. I'll sit in the vampire's lair, is what we call it if you're on a boat or wherever. Like I'm going to,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
Fire Island this weekend, and my entire plan is to mostly be out in the evening, or when I'm on the beach. Where we have beach umbrellas, so
Nice.
like that's the entire plan. So I was like, I don't want any kind of sun.
There's one place that I absolutely love in Disney Springs. It's probably my favorite just because they have crazy, insane milkshakes and the best Caesar salad I've ever had. It's called Black Tap,
Hmm,
and they do those really crazy milkshakes. I had like a cotton candy one, which had like rock candy, a pink sugar lollipop, cotton candy frosting around the rim with like chocolate candy dots, and then inside was a strawberry milkshake with like straight strawberry syrup draped around
nice.
the like it was so good, but I was like, this is just pure sugar. So I have to counteract that with the best Caesar salad I've ever had with sun-dried tomatoes, which were amazing in that salad.
That's the way to do it.
I dream about that salad more than I dream about that steak. So it was if you go to Black Tap in downtown Disney, definitely check them out. It's so good. So good.
I think we were near that because we ate at a Creole place
Oh
in
yeah.
downtown Disney, and I
They're
saw
good.
that there was like a milkshake specific, and they have custom flavors and whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
it's
eat any ice cream this trip, which was weird because I'm a
that is
dessert
weird.
guy, but it was
Yeah,
more just like snacking where and when you can. Um,
exactly.
like
It also
I
saves you from making huge purchases and like big meals.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly. I like the sort of running around. We did have one, I'll say sit down where it was like, okay, there's a waiter and a waitress with tax and tip and like more than, single digit pricing on
yeah,
items and in Disneyland
yeah.
Wednesday night, which to me is such a blur because I took the red eye last night into today, worked all day today. And I'm going into the office
Crazy.
tomorrow. I leave for Fire Island. I come back Sunday night. Jason's like, "Do you even live here anymore?"
Be like, yeah, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, we're in party zone. I'm a 365 party girl.
That's
Um,
right.
so I'm gonna put the link to what we're watching in the
Yeah,
YouTube right now. That way anyone who is following along with us can check it out. Uh, do you want to tell everyone what we're watching? It's a weird one.
yeah. So this is a panel from Um, Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2015, where it's from the start of Rebels. So this is like probably their first major panel after season one aired. Um, it's got Dave Filoni. It's got some of the writers involved. It's got Steve Bloom, Vanessa Marshall, Taylor Gray, Tia Sarkar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Dave Filoni. So we have the whole cast. And unbeknownst to us, it was Chopper in there as well, with Dave being there. Um, but they discuss season one of Rebels and what's to come in season two. So it's pretty awesome panel, and it's kind of jarring that they're in this tiny little room instead of the Celebration main stage because this Rebels is so huge now.
Yeah.
But for us, it really for this time frame, it really wasn't. It kind of flew under the radar for a little while, and it kind of grew up a
It was their
homegrown
kid
fan base.
show, and
Yeah,
we had Force Awakens taking over the main stage. So I don't think they
yeah,
want to dilute anything, which is why
definitely
they were
not.
like, "Oh, also we have a cartoon," and I'm like, "Girl, it's the best thing they did
Yeah,
in the
for
in the
real.
first 5 years at least." So
Hello.
Um, all right, we're gonna hit play on the panel in a minute because we do want
Yeah,
to end right at 11, so I can go to sleep more than
yeah.
anything else.
Mark needs naps.
I do. But
So
as we're doing the panel, I'll pop in with a little bit of stuff, but I want to save most of the discussion for Rebels Revisited. And of course, the boys are going to be back next Thursday, and they'll
yeah.
talk about the comprehensive trip because they're there now in San Francisco. So I have no idea what's happening in San Francisco. I am in the group chat still, so I can see people's nonsense. People post photos and stuff all day, and where are we and where are we meeting up and all that kind of stuff. That was awesome to just see like who's
Oh,
doing what and see everyone's individual photos.
see,
We are
because
gonna
the
do a
Rebels
Google
chat
album.
has been
Yeah.
like crickets. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Which,
oh,
by the way, that's a blessing because I was telling everyone, I was like, I'm in 9 chats on the network, but like I was added to the vacation one late. And so I didn't know what was happening. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh man, this is where everyone is right now. Like none of the show chats had anything happening. I was like, oh, what a wonderful quiet day. And
it's
then you
just
open that
me
one and it's like
talking
every
about
10 seconds, it's like the cat at the keyboard. So,
it's just
yeah.
me talking about my Obi-Wan Kenobi Clone Wars figure hot
Yeah.
toys that I got in the other day, which by the way is stunning. But
Yeah.
look, can't wait to put him up with my Mando Obi-Wan and my TV show Obi-Wan. But yeah, it's
Amazing.
just so good. I'm so glad you guys were able to do this and are having such a blast out there. So
and it's still going. I highly recommend everyone try to do this the next time we do it, because I'm so glad I did it and didn't miss it. All right, I'm gonna hit the 10-second countdown, and then we are gonna hit play on this YouTube video. And
I'm
yeah,
trying to find the world clock that I had to just put in there. I know I'm so terrible with this.
I know if you see me disappear for a second, I have to grab my headphones. All right, I'm gonna hit this. I'm going to hit the 10-second for everyone at home. There's some people watching along. So who's ever hanging out, watching along, thank you for joining us. Feel free to say hi in the comments. We don't bite.
Yeah,
We're
we're
not
cool
Spencer,
people.
Dave, and Jeff. We're very friendly.
We're rebels. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
exactly. All right, here comes the countdown.
I'm trying to see.
What are you playing?
Oh, give me 1 second. It's not working for me. What the heck? Okay, share screen, online stopwatch, share, reset. Okay, hold on 1 second. We can hit start in 1 second. Add to stage. There we are. You can kind of see it in there. Let me open this up. Sorry, Dave showed me how to do this, and I'm just making sure
No
that
worries.
I can do this. I
It's our
swear.
test drive for when it's you, me, and Skip.
Yeah,
with
right?
no help from Jeff. I gotta
Okay,
give him the night
and
off.
we're gonna start it right about. There we go. Now.
Now.
I have the. It's going. Yeah, it's going. All right, cool.
Woo!
You can kind of see it. I tried to move everything as best I could. But... Woo, Freddie! Queen. Sorry, I'm watching on my phone because my iPad is dead.
I'm having all sorts of tech issues. So
They look like babies. It's so crazy.
I know. What's our timestamp? Only 40 seconds in. Okay.
I have 55 seconds.
This is going to be such a thing. So, question for everyone in the chat, both of you. Who's seen this panel? Like, I only watched this panel once.
Yeah.
Oh, they mentioned James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Maybe that actually posts a real thing. Is Dave sent me when he first worked with James on the dialogue, recorded it. He sent me like
That's so wild.
clips essentially of the dailies of hearing all of the different takes and hearing.
I love how Steve's just filming everybody. it's so
He is
wild.
me. I am him. He's got good golden retriever energy, the same way I do. Yeah.
I totally would have stolen one of those banners. So cool.
Yes, very cool that James Earl Jones. They announced it at this panel, back as Vader.
And I love how that's how they start. Like, we're doing this.
Oh, Matt Wood name drop. I love Matt Wood. He is one of my favorite Star Wars people.
Where he corrected himself and started over. Yeah. And so all of a sudden you realize there is a man playing Darth Vader. Yeah. It's sort of like being a child and having the helmet come off. Why don't you guys let us in on those sessions?
The guest stars usually record separately. We were told that by Taylor and Vanessa. It was very rare that they would come in with the big cast, but most of the cast would record together.
Are you feeling any added pressure to deliver to fans, especially now that you're
It's wild that it's just like audience Q&A.
I don't.
Like,
I think maybe they do the actors because me too. And I mean, for me, this is like this month is my 10th year at Lucasfilm creating Star Wars.
10 years for Filoni.
and this is almost 20 for him now.
I know.
So that's wild.
Years ago, so
Excuse me.
it's just for me, it's just fun. You know, the story gets bigger, the stakes get higher, as it should be. I feel a little bit we're moving
Oh,
into
the
our
stakes
kind of
got higher.
era for our characters where they're really challenged. The first year is kind of New Hope, and I mean, all their characters are going through trials of different kinds. I think also there's an automatic pressure when you do anything that has the word Star Wars in the title. There's sort of increased.
It's interesting. You're going to learn that later in life. When you put Star Wars in the name, there's going to be a level of criticism that comes away regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
So, you know, once you start, you know that
Mm.
Hi. I'm Fernando from Chile, and I would like to ask Dave and Simon. Many kids, you know, are introduced to
Simon
Star Wars Rebels.
Kinsberger, I think.
I would like for you to
Simon is?
talk about that process.
I spilled something on myself.
Oh
I don't
no.
know what I did. I'm an idiot.
And I also would like to know
Just
what are your thoughts about the future of the Star Wars world? You know that now that George Lucas retired, you know, left new people.
Taylor had like a pompadour going on here.
The first question
I will say,
introducing kids to a new
people at panels need to be translated. There's usually an actual moderator who will listen to a question like that and then repeat just the question to the talent so they know what to answer. I think Dave, though, and the other creators are probably pros at this, whereas the actors are probably like, what now? Because there were 3 questions in there, in that question.
Yeah, you have to like break it down.
You have to distill it. Yeah. I've actually gotten really good at that because I go to so many cons.
I know,
and I'm
right?
And I've also stopped myself from asking questions and stopped myself from setting up the question. Because sometimes you think you're clarifying, where it's like, because I saw this thing, I would like to know X. The actor is hearing too much information. You just need to ask, can you tell me X? Like, that would be my recommendation to people. Unless you have something truly emotional to share with them, which also don't do that in a big venue. Sometimes, like, people talk about like people who have died and other like really, really sad stuff in like a giant venue to an actor, and it becomes immediately sad and awkward. And especially if you don't have a question to go with it, or can I have a hug? Don't ask for hugs.
No.
Yeah, because they'll just say no sometimes now. Like, we can't do hugs for people. They'll even announce that at the start of the panel.
I think the 2 times I've asked a semi-emotional question was first time was to Elizabeth Henstridge from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I thanked her for the Spy's Goodbye. That scene where like Bobby and Hunter go on the run and they're disavowed from the agents, and it's just like the whole scene in the bar. I thanked her for that, and I said it was emotional, and then I asked the question about like how hard that was to film. So it's like a little bit of both. And then I saw Clark Gregg, and I also thanked him for that. I said it was a killer scene, and he's asked him how he felt about it, and both of them were like, "Oh my God, we were emotionally wrecked." And no one else ever. He's like, "Thank you for asking about that. That was such a hard day for us, and we acted our butts off."
Those emotionally exhausting scenes, they could be more demanding than the physically demanding ones.
So they were both happy to be recognized for it. So
that's good. Yeah, I think complimenting work is important. I like the way that Dave answers questions because he comes from a very intellectual place.
Right.
He gives you the history and a process, like a look into the process and the decision making. He's very studious and precise
Right.
And I feel like even if he makes a decision you might not agree with, he would very clearly articulate why he did it a certain way and what's the rationale as to why. It's not because he liked something. It's because like it feeds the story this way, or it takes this character that way, or it
Right.
ties back to something that Georgia created. Like there's a rationale.
And it comes from like a place of knowledge. Like it comes from a place of like they obviously care about
Yeah, that's why he is so
yeah.
even higher up in the company now. It's him
Yeah.
and Favreau running the show right under Kathy
I know. It's so cool
or
to me.
Kathleen. I know her, Miss Kathy, Kathleen Kennedy.
That's so crazy. Space
Space
Aladdin. Here we
Aladdin.
go. That's so nice. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix our.
Yeah, so as I was watching this again, like this is the panel between season 1 and season 2. I thought we got the first panel. It would have been in 2014 though, but there was no celebration. So this is the first
Right.
celebration panel. So
Right.
I'm like that was the this was so this is even crazier that it's in a small panel room when it's already been on the air for a season.
Right. It's so wild.
And so, it kind of made me look back at a lot of different characters, heroes, and character actors. And actually, oddly, Aladdin wasn't one of them. If anything, it was
Not Aladdin.
Ralph Macchio.
What? This is not Ralph Macchio.
But Karate Kid, right? Training and
But I don't think there's any. I don't do like Mickey's or stuff like that.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be
No hidden Mickeys in Star Wars. You heard it here.
made my designers put it out. Chip's a secret Disney princess.
I believe it.
He's so good just like jumping into that voice. No warm up needed. And Freddie, I guess. Yeah, the Queen, Sarah Michelle. Yeah.
I talked about this in a podcast a while ago and broke down the entire season 2 with her and her Wookiee during the season. Outside of that, I can't tell you anything because it would spoil the surprise. She's really hairy.
So keep in mind, this is April. New York Comic Con, 6 months later in October, she comes to the panel and yeah, we think she's Barasafi or something, but yeah.
Freddie, your character obviously is kind of still shrouded in mystery. How much of the character's backstory did you get when you took on the role, and are we going to find out more about it in season 2?
What do we know about Kanan?
Really big breakdown on what made these characters tick, so that our season 1 performances would be reflective of the history that's going on so far. So I knew about his master. I knew about Order 66. I knew about
Master Depa Blaba.
66. Just not myself, but I knew about all of that and how it affected him and what he did during that time. That's thanks to Dave and Greg Weisman when we were just getting ready to do the pilot that they turned into 2 episodes and aired as a movie. So we kind of knew all that going in, and in season 2, as far as Kanan's character goes, you're gonna learn a lot about why he is who he is today, why he's the type of teacher he is, his qualities and his faults.
And of course, one of the ways in which we get more of Kanan is through Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rex.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the
Ahso-
whole clone.
Ahsoka like
theory.
connects back to the Jedi Temple. Rex gives you the Order 66 kind of thing. They have to face Inquisitors. They have like Ezra and Kanan have to work together
Maul.
to fight Maul, Darth Vader. the Inquisitors, not get lured to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny gets blinded at the end of the season. A lot happens to this man.
So much happens.
I think you always have characters in mind that you'd like to see interface. We throw names around the room, and everybody in the writers' room is a fan. So everybody has certain characters that they would love to see. And sometimes
Aristophane.
you're never sure like how serious people
If this
are.
panel were to happen today, like honestly, it'd be a packed house.
So careful with that.
Yeah, they
And
would
I'm just seeing
need an
people
entire
raise their
theater.
hand and ask questions. It's just like
You'd have to get in the
mind-blowing.
lottery. It would be a
I know.
lottery at San Diego or something.
I'd be like, sign me.
One person's face is so
Yeah.
like serious. They're like, no, I was joking. And I'll seize on that idea.
Meanwhile, they name drop Porkins. We get Wedge, and we get Hobby. So
Yeah,
that's
funny.
why he said
They almost go down
Porkins
the
is not
earth,
in.
and
There's
they
always a
tease it.
swerve.
Yeah, always.
I'm not sure what makes us decide a particular character's coming in or out. Sometimes, we'll get to talking when we're in the script phase. Honestly, recently, the reason probably we have is there's so many cool things happening in the script. I was like, Simon, I only have 21 minutes and 30 seconds. This would be awesome. It's like a 90-minute movie.
Oh, sign me up.
He's like, yeah, I know. I've been writing it. It's hard to get in there. So sometimes we'll try to spread stuff out that we work on this up until the last minute possible. Nothing is ever set in stone. Everything is changeable. It's not like we just get the script, that's the blueprint, we follow it. We deconstruct it along the way, try to get it as right as we can. And luckily, I work with guys like Simon, Greg, Henry Gilroy, and they're really good at moving through that as I'm trying to direct it and get the best story we can and changing. Sometimes a lot, sometimes little. And we get a lot of time too, which I don't really, almost more than features for me. We get a lot of brainstorming time. So we get a lot of blue sky meetings of what should this season be.
Rebels felt very planned and very intentional in all ways.
Yeah,
So it's nice to hear that time was the thing, especially considering they had 22 episodes in seasons 2 and 3. It was 15 in season 1 and 15 in season 4, but it feels planned. And now I think as we were watching all sorts of streaming shows, isn't everyone's complaint they don't have enough time to execute the story or the special effects and things look cheap? And I'm not just talking Star Wars. I'm talking Marvel, DC, anything. Everyone's crunched. There was a reason there was an actor strike pretty recently, whereas you listen to this from 10 years ago, and they were investing time, energy, money, effort into a cartoon airing on Disney Plus.
Social issues that most sci-fi can't really touch on, outside of racism, right? That's one that's in every sci-fi. But they deal with a lot of cultural things, a lot of government issues.
Government issues, yes. Let's talk politics.
And the movies can go in and
Minister to
more deeper in some instances, but I would say it
Boom.
teaches a lot more about real life than a lot of the stuff out there. You know what I mean? Most
Yep.
stuff you see.
Wait till you get to Andor. It's the realist of real life.
Oh, hello.
Doesn't give that to you. That's I think why it was always so.
She's come to watch the panel.
Sorry.
Ahsoka wants to know when she's making her appearance in season 2.
Relate to it. It's not just I wish I was Han Solo. You relate to Han Solo, right? You wish you were Superman if you like DC, or you wished you were Spider-Man if you like Marvel.
Freddie has the most profound discussions in Star Wars, I find.
Mm-hmm.
For someone who's a voice actor in this, he's all in. He's totally invested.
You have to imagine at one point he probably thought he would have been a live action actor in Star Wars. He was super sexy as a 20-something and was constantly cast in big things. And super charismatic, and he was one of those it boys in the late 90s, early aughts. And it's interesting that he tilted into voice acting because it's not a usual path. But he loves Star Wars and is a big geek about it, which is not true for everyone who does the shows. So he probably came in with the most expertise.
I love that we seem to be giving that message to the younger generation, and also encouraging them to follow through on their ideas, and that it's worth it to get a group together and not just talk about it, but actually take action and do it and walk the walk.
Yeah,
So,
Vanessa.
I think it's a great metaphor.
Hera's motivating an army under her. I would join the army of Vanessa Marshall.
There's always a possibility of changing and growing and developing into something better, and seeing a possible future no matter what the odds.
Mhm. We see that with every character on this show. They develop everyone. They give us people who leave the Empire and join the rebellion. We also see people like Minister Tua who try to and don't make it. We see a lot of good people fail. We see a lot of bad people lose, which is good. We see Ezra go from super annoying to like the hero of the series. They pay this off.
Oh yeah. Although I do wish there was more Zeb content.
Yeah.
It's appreciated. That said, in the trailer that we've now got online and that people are looking at across the globe, there are obviously return characters already been talked about. There are some new characters as well.
Inquisitors.
If you can say about any of that, I don't know how much you're allowed to say, but
But why would you want to know?
Yeah.
They're like,
I almost think we need to watch the New York Comic Con panel with Sarah Michelle Gellar
I
on
know.
Rebels Revisited.
Oh, we
close
do.
out the show.
Yeah.
You know, that could be really fun.
Amazing. If we can find it, definitely.
Yeah. I think I've seen it because I didn't make it into the room because I was working. Hi, baby boy.
All the kiddies want to hang out
Mr. Hicks.
and watch the show.
things that are designed to hit you immediately, like the Rex moment.
You know who clones. You know which
Yeah.
ones. Yeah. You would think so. You should watch our channel and leave our open questions. Oh, we have real media in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. By the end of season 1, we still don't know. They could still be alive. Mm. I love Tia so much. She's actually someone who came in with very little Star Wars knowledge and then became a fan,
Yeah.
which is very cool to see people like join the fandom through this. Mm-hmm.
That is fun. I'm about the worst person to ask about what's happening with Sabine's story. I don't know anything. I find out when we get the script before it's like.
Baby, what do you want to come up?
He has this other family.
Yes, he does.
His mom and dad, and we've had them, visually in the show.
Here comes the baby. Boop. No. Oh, he's trying to attack my hat.
Oh no! It's very.
And he likes to eat
can't
plastic.
compete.
I've got all the wrong
no!
stuff over here. Yeah. We do get a good amount of background on all the characters. Also, I'm not going to give it away because we'll do it on Rebels Revisited, but look at all the swag, Ashley.
So much
This
swaggin'.
is one bag.
You are
There's
Bilbo
more
swaggin'.
here.
Yes, you are. Oh my god.
Thank you to everyone who traded swag and took Rebels Revisited cards. And what is this? What are you trying to eat? What are you eating? No, that's my shirt. Son of a bitch. Hicks.
He's like, no.
It looked like so. That will be a part of.
Oh yeah, so we're talking about when Zeb reveals that Agent Callus committed genocide against his people, basically. We do find that out in season 2.
Hi, Aubrey.
Is Aubrey in the chat? Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. We're running a very loose chat tonight. We're actually listening quite closely to the panel, so we're only popping in a little bit. This is definitely a time capsule, isn't it?
It so is.
The link is above if you want to join, and the timestamp is below. We're already 23 minutes in.
In the second season,
You know what's interesting about this panel? I haven't heard any kids yet, and no one has had a major emotional question yet. Whereas I think if you got to season 4, like people are going to be crying. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like in season 1 there was a lot more about like the familial dynamics and how like establishing who is what within this little ragtag, crew. And I feel like in season 2 so far we've really
we get a bigger universe in season
Oh
2
yeah,
also.
totally.
Yeah. I like that Dave's looking, being like, don't say anything.
Oh yeah, like having Dave on these like show panels is like the
I'm
worst.
so
He's like,
nervous. I'm like, I
Well-
hear it's good. Send.
click.
I love Tia. She's so sweet. Yeah, this sounds like media. That's like the third person to introduce themselves
Yeah.
from like where they're from. Every question is for Freddie. Come on, guys.
There's more than just Freddy there, you guys. Come on now, broccoli pizza.
we've really gotten to
I think it's because he had the star power. I don't want to say star power, but like he was the most
Translation.
like
How does it feel to get back to acting, considering you've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff?
right. Come in.
Oh, that's really sweet. Hi. Who's a good boy?
He is a good boy.
He's such a family guy. He and Sarah are just so adorable.
Yeah.
And I love when they show up to things and they're still just always very touchy-feely and like hanging on each other. Like, yeah.
I get to do it, and it looks way cooler because they animated it.
Yeah, like the possibilities they could do.
What's interesting at this moment in time, Freddie is the only married guy on this panel. Well, I guess Filoni is too.
Yeah.
But Steve and Mary Elizabeth might not have even been dating at this point. They
Oh
certainly
no, they
weren't
were
married
dating.
yet.
They were dating. Yeah,
At
they've
this
been
point,
together a long time. Yeah.
yeah, they weren't
It's just-
married yet.
They weren't official yet. Yeah.
I don't think Tia was seeing anyone. Taylor's obviously very young and single. Vanessa was single. I don't think anyone had kids except for Freddie. I don't think anyone does have kids at this point still, other than Freddie. He might be the only dad on the panel.
No, Steve has kids. He has sons.
Steve has kids? When
He
did
has-
that happen?
He has adult sons. Yeah.
Oh, okay, from
Yeah.
earlier. Gotcha. See, I forget. Sometimes I think people are my age or younger.
I
And
know.
when I met so many people on the vacation and we're chatting and someone was talking about their kids and I'm like, oh, what grade are they in? And they're like, they have children of their own that are in grade school. And I'm like,
I know.
grandparents. Oh,
No.
your children are adults. Yeah.
That's wild to me. Also, I'm like 41 and I work with a bunch of like late teens, early 20s, something.
Yeah.
So it's just really like kind of like, why does no one want to hang out with me? Well, because you're all old. You're old and they're all young. So
It's interesting now at this age. I'm 43 and you're 40. We could have kids in our 20s or teens. And
I'm 41 and my
yeah.
friends have kids who are turning 21 and I'm like,
yeah.
wow.
It's wild. I can't imagine. Yeah, everyone on the family, and I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people on the family vacation were checking in with their kids. Some people were there without their spouse or without their kids, or, they have older kids or whatever. Oh my God, she's talking about the Sabine helmet.
I don't have nearly enough toys yet. I'm going shopping right now.
I love Steve.
I have all of them.
Oh,
Hey guys, Christian Harloff from AMC.
Oh, Christian Harloff.
that's very cool.
Christian Harloff.
Just because we know the time.
Not a fan. he used to be on Collider.
How many seasons?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's going to take you to tell the story up to
Hi.
You all know it goes. And
It's a kitty brigade.
the question is, let's say a particular movie, spin-off movie, takes place in that timeline. Say Rogue One, maybe not. In that timeline, how much information would you guys be able to get to give the
Can't spoil it, Harlow.
How many seasons? Oh, he has a two-part question.
All of the
Of course he does.
creatives kind of collaborate. We know what each other are doing. So the purpose of that is so that we're always aware of the continuity and the different stories. So if there was a situation,
It's interesting. He's actually sort of asking, does it cross over with Rogue One?
in detail what was going on, and then I can inform my actors as necessary, or
Yep.
our writers, But that's kind of the beauty of the new story group scenario. Is it all interconnected?
Yeah, this is right around the time where they started instilling the story group just to make sure that everything was okay. Pablo Hidalgo and Leland Sheen and everybody. So.
And it makes sense. I mean, you want there to be continuity, and
oh yeah, and not end up like Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah, you want the connections to make sense. You want everyone to sort of focus on one vision. Like the Rebels episodes that connect to Rogue One feel really Rogue One-ish.
So
like
good.
It's so well done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel forced or cheap. Like it actually really connects.
Right.
So I never know. I mean, I think it's kind of as long as there's a demand. I think I do have a little more of an arc in mind for Rebels as we talk about kind of that bigger picture, because we are running up to A New Hope. That is
Clone Wars up to season 7.
So that's kind of a question on how we deal with that.
And at this point, he would have been done. Season 6, The Lost Missions, would have seemingly been the final season, though they were cooking it up behind the scenes. They know they had to close it out after Rebels went off the air. You know.
Yeah. Two-part question. First one, was it incidental that all of the character names are all biblical?
I like that A New Hope is an incident.
I don't think you've ever been asked that before. But if you look at all of the names they are.
James Burns!
Yeah!
He's one of my people. I love him so much.
Love Jimmy.
Two-parter.
No, but it's a very good question. He's asking if the character names are all biblical and based on, like, mythology and stuff.
Off at the end of season 1, or is it just carrying on in the timeline and Tia's decided to have a head on? Good question.
You know he's going to ask a shrewd question, Filoni.
We should find the documents we have of all of our names that we tossed back and forth. Greg and David and Kiri and all of us.
Oh yeah, what's the time jump?
There was a biblical sense to the naming and to this sort of series as a purpose of the original movies. There's the cloaks themselves have a religious feel to them. So that was, I don't know that, at least for me, it was conscious that each one was, frankly, is news to me that each one.
By the way, everyone follow James Burns on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. He's a fantastic guy, friend of the group. We love him. He's based in England, hence the accent.
Yes.
Yeah, like Luke. Yeah, Chopper. Chopper's in the New Testament.
The names in Star Wars are very purposeful, but when you get into the expanding universe, they become often very odd. They contain a lot of X, Y's, and Z's, and hyphens, and that's all fine. But when you're in a medium like we are, Han Solo, okay, guy's pretty much by himself, right? And that's kind of the genius of George, is that he would disguise this stuff. And yet, I didn't think about that when I was a kid. You don't know the derivations of these names, but names have a purpose. If you know someone's full name in folklore, then you have power over them, right? Because if you do know someone's name, it gives you an understanding of who they are. So I joke, I've got a guy in the crew named Spotswood. Your family at some point probably had a particular task that involved, finding the firewood or searching, hunting for something, because that's where names come from. They don't just, to make up a name that is odd, just for the sake of it sounding like a space world name isn't really what Star Wars does. So I think that having these names, Hera, a very purposeful name for the type of character that she is. Chopper, he's a disruptive little character that causes problems. He chops things
Mhm.
up. Yeah, it's blatant, but when the characters work, when you like the characters, it doesn't matter. You just accept them. And so
See, this is the kind of stuff that when Dave talks about the
yeah,
decision
like when
making,
Ezra,
the
Ezra was
purposeful
definitely a
intent,
connection to the fact
this
of
is
like
why I
they
love him.
Oh,
And again,
so
even if you
it's
agree or
they
disagree with what the final
and
decision is,
actually
the
felt
way in
like
which
it
he
made
makes
sense
his
in
decisions
our
and
minds,
collaborates and
like
coordinates with
that
everyone,
sounds like Star Wars made
you
but
can't
yeah, I agree, and
you
that was
can't take
basically
that from
it.
him.
yeah.
And I like
So
this
And
very intellectual approach.
he says that uh, Ezra was named after a friend's son.
Mhm.
So
Yep, there's a Z.
and some of it is a strange. I can't remember. I think there was a slight intention around Bridger. The Bridger is the character. He's the bridge between
yeah.
the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. So there is a bridging of topics. So you get it as a Bridger. The way of
I hear Chopper grumbling.
whether we intended that or not now, because we actually thought of that.
Yeah, Bridger to bridge the.
Good job,
Yeah.
Simon. Hey guys, Lucas Siegel over here from.
I enjoy the fact that people didn't pick up on that because there's a lot of people in the room going, Bridger, oh, it bridges. Like,
Mentioned,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
season one.
That was one of the first things I noticed being a licensee. I was like, oh, how clever and also very obvious.
Really specific.
On the
I'm
nose.
fine with that.
What would you say?
This is obviously a media scrum. I
Yeah, this is
forgot. I haven't
pretty
watched this panel in so
wild.
long, you guys. And Ashlee and
Yeah.
I intentionally didn't watch this panel because we wanted to be surprised.
Yeah.
Like I literally didn't remember that this was not before season 1 aired. It was in between season 1, season 2, and that there was so much media.
Yeah.
From the outside rather than from the inside. I think
I like that. Is there a theme for season 2? It's a good question. Without giving away exact action and spoilers, like what are we tackling as a thematic?
there's a lot of things in real life that are real life corollaries for what the first season was exploring. And I think the second season was now that they've parsed
External challenges.
normal familial issues, a unit, a family. It's sort of how do they continue to grow individually, and how do they?
I'm gonna flex for Aubrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm clocking in at 140 over
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah. Remember when Christopher Sean embarrassed me with his guns?
Through them. Yeah, definitely. It's great. Hi, Scott Murray with the Assembly of Geeks podcast. I'd like to ask all the voice actors, maybe you
So,
guys, obviously one of the things.
Just to hop into that real quick, Christopher Sean is amazing, and we were talking about his workout regime, and I did like a little flex, and he's like, "Oh, there's some good guns," and then he pulled out his arm and he slid in front of me and said, "This is what we
Of
call a
course he
flex."
did. Of course he
And
did.
I was like, I feel very attacked.
This is the man that
Um,
posts workout videos of himself and his fiance on his
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm just
Oh
saying.
yeah, and I was like, I was like, one, follow him on Instagram if you need workout advice. I was like, he does that thing called the Hour of Power, which is like his big workout of like, and he's super sweaty all the time. So and Nelson was like, you know everything about this guy, and I was like, yeah, I brought him a celebration in 2019. Like he's just a good guy. We've stayed in touch.
Yeah.
I love Christopher. He's fantastic. He had a blast at the event.
Oh, yay.
Everyone actually really did. Everyone left the event very happy, which was good. That's what I like to see.
Good, good. I know there were videos that were posted from the celebrities were posting from there, so that was really cool. So
Did you see Misty driving around in Speedy? That
yes,
was awesome with
that was so
Michelle,
nice.
and it was really fun. Everyone had a very good time, and that's what matters. The family members had a great time. The actors had a great time. I think Scum was thrilled to have 100 people walk in the door. You know,
Was
on a
it open
Monday.
to the public as well?
Not until we had a private event until 8, and then it became open. But like
Okay.
we had so many people there, it was a good thing it was closed.
That's good.
What is her backstory and what happened in her past that led her to this point?
Ooh, why is Sabine angry? What an awesome question. We could.
I'm very excited about season 2.
Yeah, where'd you get these skills?
I'm sort of like dying to know what's happened in all of these characters' pasts. It's fun to get to start.
Former Imperial.
Yeah, we see Ezra grow up. So
Survive the academy. Built a weapon of
Baby
mass
Taylor
destruction.
and baby Tia.
Tool of the Empire. Whoopsie.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens. We all accidentally genocide someone when you're, busy at work. I'm still upright. Thank you, Sherry.
One thing I saw, which I see on this list.
Yeah. Hi, Sherry.
I just saw the first time out here watching the new trailer, so that's an exciting little thing too. I think Hera in season 1 managed to fulfill her vision, which was to bring a group of people together and unite them with Fulcrum and get the cell.
Yeah. So for everyone who can't hear me, enjoy the hangout at the bar. This will be recorded. You can come hang out with us Sunday on the bus ride. On the bus ride down, you can play it on the screen.
Yeah. Or on the plane. On the way back.
Specific growth is difficult to talk about for season 2 because we don't want to spoil things. But based off what you saw in the trailer, I can tell you a little bit.
Vanessa's talking about the wider universe. We meet Rex, the other clones, Ahsoka, Keone Young coming in as Commander Sato, Bail Organa.
Yeah.
And then on the villain side, Darth Vader, the fifth brother, seventh sister. It's a much bigger universe in season 2. It expands. They get off Lothal and they go other places. We land on Malachor. I mean, that stuff's crazy.
Maul.
Yeah, Maul. At the very end, in the final episode.
Based on the nature in which he lost his master from Order 66, so you see a lot of conflict. Dave addressed the fact that we're all going to be challenged this year. Season 1 is to establish us.
Kanan is challenged.
Ahsoka is more educated as a Jedi, quantity of years at the temple, also studied under Anakin, has good advice to share. And then, of course, Ezra has to also bond with Hera. We have to talk about, being a part of the military, which Kanan does not want to do. Kanan doesn't want to do that, but everyone else is in, and they all have ranks. Ezra's a commander by the end of the season, I think.
Mm-hmm. I love how Dave is answering a question that was geared towards the voice actors.
Yeah.
Just saying. He knew.
Yeah, this is for all the voice actors, and Dave's like, yes.
Yeah, that's me too. Oh, wait. I was that stormtrooper. It's fine.
Those past conflicts and let them go, or if they're going to let them drag them back down into they were. That's very true, I think, of all of us in life. And Ezra especially will be confronted with the idea that just because he's been given a great power and a great ability and wonderful skills, matching that unfortunately also becomes greater evil, greater darkness, malevolence.
It's all about choices.
He starts to become aware of this presence in the galaxy, which is a frightening thing. But if you truly are worthy of, being a Jedi, wielding the power of the Force, you have to learn to do that selflessly, and that's the real pressure when you get down to it on someone with the ability to use the Force. Because ultimately,
Pull of the dark side.
you have to wield it for others, and that's what the Sith don't realize. So that's all within season 2, if you think about it. It wasn't the name of Grievous' ship. What's that? Malevolence.
Because once you have power, once you discover power, how you use it, that's what really determines whether you're light side or dark side. The magic itself or the power itself isn't good or evil. It's how you use it. So your actions determine your fate. There's nothing predetermined.
I am a huge fan of the Kanan comic that just first issue.
Wow.
Kanan comic.
And this is particularly for Dave and Simon. How does the Star Wars story group expand Rebels in that sense? Like, you guys are expanding to books and comic books and hopefully video games someday. So how do you guys work
Squadrons.
together with the other branches?
Oh, the Kanan comic.
The comic was easy because Greg wrote it. The comic was no brainer.
Kanan, the last Padawan.
Greg wasn't working on season 2 with us, so the opportunity came up to have comic book written. It's like, let's.
Oh my God, can you imagine a Rebels video game? That would have been. I guess they were in Disney Xfinity.
Yes, I had all of those figures. Every single Rebels figure that they had, I had it. I was just so mad we didn't have Chopper or Hera.
Yeah.
We're this close,
They
kids.
should have just finished
This
them out.
close.
Yeah.
I have every Star Wars Infinity figure that they made.
And think this is 10 years ago. They're talking about the coordination across the various forms of media,
Yeah.
trying to make the connections work. It got too big. I think it slipped away from them the same way Marvel got too big. Because think about what's going on in Marvel at this point. They just had Avengers 1, so they're into phase 3, right? The start of phase 3, leading up to Avengers Age of Ultron and all the stuff that happens in between there. But they're not quite at Endgame yet. They're still several years from that. So this is on the upswing, and they couldn't coordinate an MCU with comic and everything else anyway. There are like too many different books running and everything. Whereas Star Wars is very precious. It's one thing. Like everything has to connect.
That's kind of a comic book home run for me. Yeah, I think so. All looking up here, Cougar News and
Mhm.
you guys obviously we just saw the trailer. What was the reaction from the fans like to you guys? And also, we saw Vader in the trailer too. Will we see
The Kanan comic is gorgeous.
Oh,
Who
it
was the
is.
artist? Do you remember?
I know Mark Brooks did the covers. Beautiful covers. I don't know who did the interiors. It's my copy's over there. My omnibus is over there. So, but yeah, it's so good.
We had to make sure I was on editing backstage because we were worried about it. That was real. That was insane. Just the sensory overload too, from being on the stage and then getting the energy from the audience at the same time, and all the emotions that are going on with all of us because we're fans too. It was intense. Really intense. I wish I want to. Every episode of Rebels, I want to watch it with that sound. We were on the stage. I was like rumbling with it.
Yeah, I remember that trailer when they showed the end, and it's just like, just Vader breathing, and
Yeah.
it goes, oh, it's chilling.
For me, that was the part that is particularly striking. I mean,
Yeah.
he created those characters, and then to all this time later have a reaction like that. I mean, when I got here, Rex wasn't really a thing at all. He wasn't a character. Neither was Hondo.
Hondo. Add Hondo to everything.
It's fine. By the way, did you get to ride the Smuggler's Run?
I didn't go this time. I did do Rise of the Resistance and the
Nice.
Haunted Mansion with the holiday overlay. That was incredible.
Oh, I haven't
So,
done that one.
Love that. I mean, it's super limited edition, only in Disneyland for a certain period of time. We had to get special tickets by waking up early and joining the virtual queue.
Of course.
There's no physical queue because they're actually redoing the whole queue.
Yeah.
So you can only virtual queue. We waited about a half an hour, I think, when all was said and done. Me and Mike and Kat and Lanny, and we woke up at the crack of dawn. Oh my God, I was up so early every day.
But it's
By the way,
worth
thank you to
it.
Mike for hosting me and Kat. We both crashed at his house, so he was my chauffeur, and I was basically tethered to Mike, which was perfect. Like he and I got to do a ton of stuff together. I got a lot of good quality time with several members from the group.
Yay.
Jeff, who I never get to see in real life, despite the fact that we see him every Monday. Dave,
Totally
Mike,
different.
Kat.
Yeah.
I never get to hang out with Kat. Who else was there? Lanny, Sherry, Jen, and then all the people that I met and all the swag. I mean, it's unreal. Just so fun. Yeah, that's why I'm excited
What
to
about
save
Sarah?
stories
Did you
until
get to say hi
Monday.
to Sarah?
Oh my God. Sarah and I spent so much time together. We were
Yeah.
at Oga's together, and we sat right next to each other. She got the Lethal souvenir glass, so we posed with that.
Did
we
you get her
had
Love
dinner
Cat?
together. Yeah, she got the Love Cat.
Yes.
I did not buy anything.
Aw.
Yeah. We did a lot together, actually, me and Sarah. So we got good quality time together.
I'll have to ask someone to pick up a Love Cat for me.
Yeah, it was so fun. It's such a blur now that I can't even remember stuff. Like walking around the museum. Oh, Frank was there. I spent a lot of time with John. Like,
Good.
and then just throughout the weekend, like learning people's names and then associating their names with their faces and being like, oh, you've been in our chat. Like, oh, I've seen you
Like
on this
Ray.
thing. Yeah. We've met like once before, like 3 years ago or something. And I met you at a celebration very quickly. Like there's been that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Ventress. Southwest napkin for Bo-Katan. It's amazing. And by the way, my Bo-Katan helmet is almost done. Oh, finally.
I wish I could project from my phone up to the wall because it was a guy with that hat and a black shirt. And Dave doesn't want to believe it was him. I think it was him.
The individual cosplayers are incredible.
I tried to track him down, and I saw that guy over there with the hat, and I thought maybe we found him again. But it's not.
Dave Filoni.
Filoni.
I saw his pictures. They're hilarious.
This is something you guys see, and I appreciate it. It means we should hang out more.
Mhm.
I'm working on my Dave Filoni cosplay.
Oh my god, he needs to.
Mhm.
One of the cool things about the show when we started it was, I think, the instinct.
Yeah.
The easiest
Yeah.
instinct would be if you're creating a new show and it's the first thing from the new Lucasfilm, essentially. You would lean on
Yeah.
legacy characters. You would make an animated show based on the brand names that everybody knows. We did the opposite. All these
Yeah.
guys were
Dave Filoni cosplay was terrific with his Ahsoka Liv shirt and everything. And he's so tall too. So I think he got a picture with everyone in the group. He basically could have had a table at the event.
I saw him with a Grogu. Somebody had a Grogu, and it was
Yes.
just a little Filoni
We had
hat. and I
Grogu
was
who was dressed up the whole trip, just meeting everyone.
like, make him crowd surf at the event. It's so great.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's been a
You
long
have been
week.
everywhere, my friend. Don't worry about it.
They said the amount of time someone stitches together a costume based on a character that literally did not exist out of someone's imagination a year and a half, 2 years ago is surreal and very gratifying. Hello, you guys. Over here. Freddie. All I hear is speakers. So that's Dave. Yeah. Full-time podcaster, part-time Filoni cosplay.
That's Dave, full-time podcast, part-time Filoni cosplayer.
Not to be confused with those other guys that had on the radio. But anyway, my question for Dave and Simon,
Mhm.
to particularly speak on the process of how everything changed around. Dave, I know you worked with George for so long, and that was, I think, a shock to everybody. So I'm particularly interested to hear what you have to say. And Simon, on the level of the outline George left behind, all his notes and everything, how much of those were used? I think I remember hearing you saying something about it depends from movie to movie.
So he wants to know how much George's layout was involved in the making of Rebels.
I'll be honest. I sort of treat George like the founding fathers. I'm not as interested in what he had to say about Star Wars anymore. He gave up the company in 2012. I stopped caring about his opinion on it in 2012, and I really wish everyone else would do the same and let the new creators take it over. He sold it to Disney. Disney put
he
other
even
people.
changes his mind on projects that he's made years later. Like he's updated things. There's always room for improvement.
And I want new, fresh ideas. I think people are annoyed by things being stale, but then when you try something new, they get annoyed as well.
Because
I'd
it's not
rather
what the
have
original's like. It's not my Star
Yeah.
Wars.
right. I'd rather have something new and different that people don't like than the same old thing that people don't like. Like I'd rather take a bigger swing. So, but I'm glad that Dave did study under George and understands what George wanted, and again, like approaches things from a very intellectual point of view with his decision making. But he's not saying, "Well, George wanted this, so I'm doing it." Like he's not the replacement George.
Simon and the rest of Story Team. Yes, I understand why you would think you want to do that, but in my experience, I thought that too. But then I would do it this way, and I try to hold the line on a lot of that stuff. In a lot of ways, though, the rest of it, we all realize no one is ever going to replace George. This is not going to happen. So what I think is amazing about the group of people we have working on story is that it is a collective group of people that love story.
That makes sense. This is how we should do it based on what I've learned, not because George wanted it that way.
Each person brings their own aspect and love of the Star Wars story, and together, just maybe we can combine to make something like some kind of Star Wars Voltron Freddy.
Star Wars Voltron Freddy.
Maybe
Love it.
are coming close to equaling the J.S.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and I think that's the best way to work. I think
Yeah.
we're aware of the challenge. We take the responsibility seriously, and my workflow is very similar to the way it was before. It's just now I've got, instead of one person, to go to for the commandments, I talk to a group of people, and together we come up with the answer. And then, the nice thing is, when I say I think it would be this, usually Simon, Kiri, we're all on the same page, so we know for sure it is the way to go. Commandments by committee, yeah, I think so.
I think Rebels was as good as it was because they had so many diverse
Exactly.
points of view
Yeah.
in it.
You
And
can tell that it was
if they
collaborative.
just had Dave, I think it would have been a little bit more like Ahsoka. Like
Yeah.
Dave was responsible for writing a lot of Ahsoka, so
Mm-hmm. I like that it was collaborative, but it didn't
Yeah.
feel like it was made by committee.
yeah, definitely. There's a big difference.
Yep.
Ray, I think, was there too, people from the story group. And it was, for me, the strangest experience of my life. Where, again, the only thing compared to is like the Bible, and like sit next to God. Not even like the guy that wrote the Bible, God. And so, he was enjoying it, and I was just clocking him the whole time. The lights came up, and he said, it's terrific. It's terrific. And really, loved it and had the same kind of passion for it that we obviously everything he created.
It's like, check in on this. Yeah.
So, what Dave's saying is 100% right. And having worked on all the different movies too, in different capacities, it's the same process. It's the same respect, love, adoration for what George created, and trying to sort of speak in his voice. I think very much that's what the different filmmakers who all have their own visions and own voices grew up on his voice, and that is a singular text for all of us across the board that made us want to be filmmakers. And so it's really, we're sort of channeling him as we're working on anything Star Wars related. That moment was intense. For me, that was like taking a final exam. I had been learning Star Wars University for years, and here the first thing I've done without him entirely, without sending a story reel where he can make some final note. It was an awesome experience, and to share with these guys, I think it
that's cool.
Solidified our group, and we're like, whoa, we've gotten this right. And so that was a great moment. The first time I met him, I'll do a very quick story. Supervising director Dave Filoni.
Oh no. That's it. Did it stop for you?
I'm like 5 seconds behind.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So yeah, it cut at the end. That's okay. I feel like we're at sort of a natural stopping point.
Yeah.
Let me move this. Too many things. What a moment in time.
Right?
I really feel like now we're gonna have to go back and watch the New York Comic Con panel with Sarah Michelle Gellar if we
Oh,
can.
for sure. Yeah,
we
if
gotta
we can
find
find
that.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna search for that before we close out Rebels. I'm still trying to figure out like a couple other special things before we go. But just to close the loop on the family vacation, I know a few people are watching us in the bar. First of all, hi. Thank you again for watching. Everyone really just like made my day, my week, my year. Like it was lovely seeing everyone. Yeah, it was very this. I gave out a lot of hugs. I got a lot of hugs. I have memories that'll last a lifetime. I've took 10,000 photos at least. It was the kind of thing where I wish we could do this more frequently. And we were all at dinner on the one night, and none of us live in the same state. So I was like, well, we need to.
Wild. Yeah.
We need to. I was like, who's ever coming to New York Comic Con? We at least have the meetup. Who's ever coming to Rhode Island? Which Sarah's coming to Rhode Island. Jenny will likely be at Rhode Island.
Love it.
Liberty will be at Rhode Island. Like she was there last year, so I know you and Spencer will be there. Like we'll have a good. There's ICCC coming up. Kathy runs a great stack of events, and she was sort of organizing the logistics for a lot of this. Working with Spencer, so she'll be posting more information about other local events. But we have a lot coming up on the network, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great year, and this was just the start. I'm so exhausted, but that's because I had so much fun. And tune in Monday. for Rebels Revisited, where we go through. I'm gonna break out all this merch, and we're gonna go through a
Bilbo
lot of it.
Swaggins.
I'm gonna
That's what we're
show
gonna
you
call it.
pictures. I'm actually gonna see if it's possible to get a layout where I can put pictures in, or I'll just hold my phone up because I don't want to bother Jeff while he's away. But I do want to show people pictures, and we are going to do check the group. Like people are
Yeah.
posting photos like crazy. I think we're going to do a Google album where people can post their pictures, which will be
That's
great.
awesome. Yeah,
So,
you should.
be fun.
I've seen so many amazing photos, and honestly, all of you guys in front of the Falcon,
Oh, amazing.
stunning. Chef's kiss.
I got to print
Beautiful
it in like
photo.
an 8x10.
That should be like your cover photo on your Facebook for like ever.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely
it's
for a
so wild.
while. With that, we do need to get to bed because I need to get going.
Mark is dying.
Yeah,
He needs to.
I took the red eye and I'm hanging on by a thread. But as always, I love interacting with everyone here. And for anyone
Yeah.
who is watching or listening, we appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course.
and thank you, Ashlee, for being the go-to host while everyone was away. We
Yeah,
did
no
our little
problem.
pre-record for Rebels on Monday. So if anyone missed us, we did have a new episode on Monday.
It was on
Best of
YouTube.
Ezra.
It may not have been streamed in the group. I think there was some kind of technical error where it didn't go live in the group, but definitely
Fine.
check out our YouTube page.
Mhm.
It's on there. You can watch with us, and it's awesome. We delve into the myths of and facts of Ezra. So
Yeah, that's exciting.
it's great.
I love me some Ezra. I mean, without him, the show doesn't work. Like he's the glue.
Exactly.
And then coming up on the network, what do we have Sunday? Is it Unifying Force or Jedi Archives? I don't even remember.
I think it's
Um,
Jedi Archives this week. It
yeah,
was
it's one of
Unifying
them.
Force last week. So
One of those shows will be on
yeah,
Sunday. And then Monday we've got Rebels Revisited. Next week, next Wednesday, so Monday's Rebels Revisited. Next Wednesday is Daughters of the Galaxy because we had the Nerf
yeah,
Herders this week. And then Thursday, the boys will be back for a watch along. They have not announced their topic, but my assumption is they will largely talk about the family vacation.
yeah. I think
The
it's a
same way
family
we will.
vacation recap. So
That seems like the right. I think they may
yeah,
watch videos and stuff. Like
yeah.
so, we took so much video content at Biggs and at Scum.
Honestly, I
Like,
really hope
yeah,
someone edits your videos into like a Billy Eichner Man on the street thing because that would be
trust
freaking
me.
amazing.
They hand me a mic and I just fly. Like we had a line outside of people to get in, and so before we were in, I was going up and down the line bothering people.
Yes.
And then did interviews with almost everyone. We missed a couple people Monday night because it was so crazy and hectic, and people had lines.
Yeah.
Like people were busy on Monday night at Scum, and so we'll probably watch a bunch of those videos. I hope we'll certainly be posting them on the page. They'll definitely go up as shorts. And we'll get them all up there sooner
Also,
rather than later. We just
yeah.
have to get the files, and Jeff and Dave are still on the vacation, but someone's got to edit them and organize them and upload them.
Yes,
It's a lot of
it
work.
just goes to show you how important Jeff and Dave are to this group.
Yeah.
They are
Oh, this place would fall apart.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Scooby, and it's
Yep.
insane. So we
Scoob
appreciate all those
and
guys.
Bryce is not on the
And
vacation, so
Bryce.
he's been doing the reels and the marketing posts. Like he's
Yeah.
the one who put the picture of all of us at the Falcon.
Massive.
Like
Yeah.
a minute later, it was like, oh, it's up.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah, like shout out to our girl Katie O'Brien for being in
Yep.
Twisters. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And Mission Impossible to come. So
She mentioned that. So in
yeah,
the
it's
interview, I was
exciting.
asking her what's going on, and she's on the cusp of like blowing up, like breaking out in a
Breakout.
big way. So
So
it's
cool.
so exciting. And Love Lies Bleeding was on an option on the plane. But on the way there, I didn't watch that. I ended up, I was actually did a little bit of work, and then I watched some TV. But I love that movie, and she's amazing.
Yay.
But like the movie's already on the plane, like
Yeah.
like it's in big distribution now, so that's exciting.
Make sure you guys watch it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you
guys.
everyone for joining us. Make sure you tune in next week for all the VCN Family Vacation coverage. And again, thank you for all the sponsors for helping us make it happen, and for everyone who flew out there, hung out with us,
Who's still there.
brave the sun with my
Oh,
sunburn. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoys San Francisco. Safe travels to everyone coming
love
back.
my city. It's great.
Yeah. And then we'll see you. The two of us, Ashlee and I, are back on Monday for Rebels Revisited for our recap and some merch walkthrough. So we'll
Yes.
see you then.
All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend, and may the force be with you.
Bye, guys.
Night.